Hello and welcome to the author spotlights of the Cinderella Monologues. I am just so thrilled to be able to sit down with each and every single author because each woman brings her unique gifts and talents and resources, and it's so much fun to be able to sit down with them. And I have the extra bonus, I suppose, of even getting to sit down with them beforehand, before we go live, to talk to them, to have some private coaching sessions and conversations. So it's really just a remarkable experience. And I hope that all of you will take the time to follow up with each of our authors. You can connect with them through the book, of course, when you buy the book. You know, their social links, their websites, information is all included. And so we highly encourage you to interact with each of our authors. Of course, watch these live stream interviews and connect with them further through the comments and chat, etc. So it's really just speaks to my heart to be able to connect people and to bring different types of people together. And if you've not joined our Facebook group yet, please do so. So this is our Facebook group link, the Cinderella Monologues Meet the Authors, and of course, buy the book. So buy the book, get the paperback copy into your hands, into your homes, onto your bookshelves. We'd love for you to post a picture of you with the book inside this Facebook group. And of course, please mark the date, save the date for November 5th. It's coming up very soon. It's a Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be going live again to announce the ebook. So that is coming your way. So stay in touch with everything through the Facebook group. So I have the pleasure today of introducing Dani Di'Prizio. And Dani is such a wonderful colleague, and she's become a real dear friend to the Cinderella Monologue authors and to our community. And she has a very unique career and background in business and life coaching. And I'm so thrilled to see her take this into a new direction as she explores writing. Writing was actually on her vision board, and talk about manifestation at work. It was on her vision board, and then suddenly she was invited to participate in the Cinderella Monologue. So we'll have a chance to talk to her in just a few minutes here. And what's really unique about Dani's coaching, that she's very solutions focused, right? So she wants to act as the bridge to help you get from one point to the other, so that way you can truly live the life that you envision, not just on a vision board, but having it come true. So everyone, please help me welcome Dani Di'Prizio. Good morning, Dani.
Good morning, Olivia. Hi, everyone. So good to be here, Olivia. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, I'm so happy to see you here. And your chapter, you took a little bit of creative license, and instead of writing about Cinderella's glass slipper, you wrote about Cinderella's sneakers and talking about sort of like a high school romance. And did it shock you to go back in time as you were writing this chapter?
Oh, it definitely did. Cinderella sneakers is not based, not just sneakers because of functionality over fashion. It actually was because it was the fastest way to get out of a situation. And yeah, it was a teen romance. I mean, we all have our stories, right? And I think when you're a teenager, you have these preconceived notions of what your happily ever after is going to look like. And mine definitely took a wrong turn and kind of exited stage left. So essentially, that is the overall kind of gist of the story, is how you might think something is one way, how you can misinterpret love, right? Seeing things for what you want them to be as opposed to what they are. And overall, if you are in a bad situation, what is the best and safest way to get out of it?
Wonderful. Thank you, Dani, so much. And, our overarching theme for today, we like to have a different theme and question and really make this like super interactive and unique for every author. So our theme for today is imagining Cinderella in the chair, asking for an oracle card reading. So that is something to come. So put it in the chat if you're watching. What might an oracle card reading reveal for Cinderella? If you would like a card reading during this segment live with Dani, please stick around because we're going to come do that at the end. So put in your questions. If there's a question that's on your heart, on your mind that you'd like to ask Dani, please engage with us, and we'd love to do that for you. And this came about because of, your background, Dani, and I see the compass in the background too. So how is your career and coaching, taking you to this point in time?
Oh, that's a really good question. So essentially, I think when we tap into ourselves, we all have a purpose, right? But sometimes we get more caught up into doing what we feel we have to, as opposed to doing what we want to. And this compass that you see on the back wall is always a constant reminder for me to check in with my direction. Where am I at? Where do I want to be? How do I got to, how do I get that? So we all have our own internal GPS systems as well, right? It's just kind of tapping into that and kind of figuring it out. In my reality, I have absolutely no sense of direction. Everything in front of me is north. But internally, I know that every so often it's really, really important to check in. And that's basically essentially what coaching is all about, right? If you look at it, I know there's various forms of coaching, and we won't get into them all. But essentially, for somebody to say, Danny, what's the difference between a counselor and a coach? The short answer to that would be a counselor might go way back into childhood and start to peel back the layers from there. And coaching might do a little bit of that as well, because maybe there is a little inner child work that needs to be done. Maybe there is some trauma that's still existing. Maybe there's a little shadow work that needs to be uncovered. But the overall purpose of coach is to kind of meet somebody where they're at and where they want to be, as you mentioned before, Olivia. So if you look at that in the construct of what I do as an action focused and solution focused coach, right? And also I tie into that accountability coaching, is we look at it from the end game. So if you and I are on one side of a riverbed and there's a river between us, and what you want is on the other side, and you say, okay, how do I get from here to there? Let's build a bridge. We're actually going to build that bridge backwards. We're going to look at it as if we're on the other side of it already. Okay. And what does that look like? That's the first brick. And then the next brick would be something like, how are we going to do that? Right. And as a coach, you're not giving the answers. The answers are already within us. That is the reality of the situation. We kind of already have the answers to everything. Sometimes we just need a little bit of conversation and the right questions to gain some clarity as to what that next brick is going to be, so that we can build our best bridges and our strongest bridges to get us to where we want to be. Okay, so that would be step 2, solution focused. And you might say, but I have this challenge, and this is triggering, and this is an obstacle. And yeah, that might all be. So what if we take that out of the equation? And let's look at it as an opportunity. Let's do a reframe. Let's look at this as an opportunity. Now, what does it look like? And you would start to develop what that would look like to you. And that would be the next brick. And then the next brick after that is, okay, you have your steps. This is what I want to do about it. This is my action. And then that's when I step in and I said, okay, by when? That's the accountability piece. That's the next brick. And the overall goal to collaborative coaching is not just to get you from where you are to where you want to be, but to do it in a way that works and resonates for you. You have control. You are creating your own life as you see it. And then to do it from the end game, so that we can do this with using the least amount of bricks as possible, but it's going to be the strongest bridge you've ever had, and it's going to go in the direction that you want it to be. Does that kind of answer your question, Olivia?
Oh my gosh, that's such an amazing term, collaborative coaching.
Absolutely.
So that way, I love how you tied in accountability, so that way someone doesn't feel that they're alone. And it's almost kind of like the path of least resistance, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Well, the reality of the situation is this, right? Like if sometimes I don't accountability piece, whether you have an accountability coach or not, accountability at its purest essence is get the motivation to follow through with something. What are the rewards? What are the consequences? What does that look like? Right? And a lot of times we reward ourselves before actually achieving something, and that's fine. But then what are the consequences? What's the other side look like? So it's that balance. And a lot of successful business people, when you look at business practices and things of that nature, the most successful people in business have accountability coaches, right? And when you get really good at it, you can do it in 5 minutes. So sometimes we don't follow through with things because life gets in the way. So it's like, okay, let's take a look at that. And how can we do this as quickly as possible and still get you to where you want to be?
And thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Marilyn Atterbury, for joining us today. So she
Hi,
is
Mary.
into the chat. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you, Dani, for guiding people to their own answers instead of giving advice.
That's right.
Yes. Sometimes I think, do you have to like test the boundary when you want to give advice and you have to kind of hold back?
Sometimes the simplest answer to that, Olivia, would be to ask somebody, right? If ever you're unsure, because we've all been in situations where we've received advice for somebody. It's like, oh, you know what? I appreciate it. I know you love me, but I just needed you to listen to me. I didn't really need the comeback, right? Or the old, this happened to me. That happened to you? Let me tell you what happened to me, right? We've had that sort of thing. So sometimes it would be like, hear somebody, hear them with an open heart, right? Being heart centered is very, very important. It's on top of everything, in terms of coaching, I'm also a heart centered coach, meaning I used to be in my mind a lot, very analytical, very logical. I have since learned to drop into my heart when I make a decision. So here's a little tidbit if it helps anybody. If ever you're in a situation and you're not sure what decision to make, take a deep breath, drop that breath into your heart. Okay, heart to me is in the center of our being for a reason. Put your hand on your heart, take a moment, check in with you, and then make your decision. So to answer your question, and when it comes to wanting to say, oh, yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's I come out running, but the reality is it is this person's experience. And so I can make a suggestion and say, hey, would you be your suggestion, right? Or can I share a resource with you or contact? So you can ask context that is at the time of your situation with the person.
Oh, this is such a fascinating conversation. I love the way you put things, Dani. So cool.
You have great questions, Olivia. Really good.
Um,
Thank you.
well, we talked about intuition just backstage, and I love the phrase that you used too. How does that tie into your coaching, like this notion of intuition? Um, I think you mentioned to me, like, everyone has it, but to what degree? And what can we do to maybe foster that more?
Oh, absolutely. So here it is in a nutshell. This is my thoughts in a nutshell in regards to intuition. Everybody can develop skills, right? Skills are something that you develop over life, various situations, and practice makes perfect, and all of that stuff that we hear about. Intuition is our natural giving gift. We all have intuition, period, right? So we have this wonderful free gift, and yet we don't really utilize it if you stop and think about it, because we get all the outside noise come at us, and sometimes we just have to stop and drop within ourselves and say, what's really going on here, right? What's really going on? And in coaching and things of this nature, on a professional level, to answer your question, and in general, and even in personal life, is not just to listen to what's being said, it's to also listen to what's not being said. Okay. So, and how is that making you feel? For example, we've all been in situations, we might be at meetings and there's a lot coming at us, right? And we leave that meeting, we feel more confused than when we went in. And this can also happen in our personal relationships as well. If you come out feeling more confused than when you went in, that's a red flag. Okay, that's a red flag. Because if something is clear, crystal clear, you don't have to question it. You have clarity. If you feel confused, that is our intuition saying, hey, you don't have enough information right now to make a logical decision. What else do you need to know? Right? So these are things that we've all experienced. And why, as human beings, have we all experienced this? Because we all have it. I haven't experienced performing heart surgery because that's not my skill. But have I had that intuitive experience that I just spoke about? Yes, I have, because we're all in it together.
Oh, Marilyn. Yes. So she's in it with us together too. She says this, Dani, I just breathe into my heart. It feels so good and prepares me to move forward into the rest of my day in touch with my intuition instead of being sidetracked by a possibly chatterbox mind, that chatterbox soundtrack.
The chatterbox sound, yeah, the whole monkey mind thing. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Easy to do, Marilyn. Easy to do. Yes, absolutely. Breathe into your heart. I'm so glad that you said that. So true.
And I love the way you described it just now, to breathe in and drop into your heart,
Yeah.
because our heart is like this open portal, right, to most everything. Um, So that's wonderful, wonderful illustration. And I'm wondering, when you wrote your chapter, the Cinderella sneakers, if intuition was guiding you for it. What was your intuition then versus now, and how has it played out in your life?
Oh, really, really good. Um, I knew, I sensed something was wrong in the beginning, and we all have our stories where something is off, right? Something's off, and I dismissed it. And in the story, I explain why I dismissed it for various reasons, from love to fear, like literally. And even at a young age, I mean, keep in mind, Cinderella Sneakers was written from the perspective of a 17-year-old. So what was I going on then? So even young, I knew something was wrong. I knew something was off. I didn't know how to ask for help. So I went within. And I'm like, I'm stuck here. What do I do? And things started to present themselves to me. And I firmly, to this day, I believe this since childhood. And it's in the book. And I basically said, no matter how things are, no matter where I am in my life, things are working out favorably for me, even if I don't see them. And the right people will come in at the right time that it is for me. And I just hold trust and I hold faith in that. And I don't know what it looks like. I don't. But the idea is, in between now and then, is to take steps, right? And that's essentially what I do as well, right? Professionally speaking, I was doing this way back, didn't even know it. But the whole process was already set up for me in the beginning. And all of this comes from tapping into your intuition and getting quiet with yourself and saying, what's going on? What do I need? And if you stop, drop, and do that, then you see things start to open for yourself. And then you can start to take steps towards getting out of any situation or making something better for yourself. So that's kind of where it came from.
I love that insight, Dani. Thank you so much for sharing that. And what is your take on the tarot cards or the oracle cards, right? Because we're going to dive into that next.
Mm-hmm.
So some people might think it's like so woo woo, and I know that you're still on this path of like learning and experimenting. So it's not something you do for everyone, but you are, like you said earlier, like it's a skill that we can develop, right? And it's sort of like our soul language, and I feel like why not tap into that spiritual realm? Going within, tapping into the spiritual realm, exploring these possibilities. So what is your take on that? Like how have the tarot cards, oracle cards have helped you or helped clients? What might you say to someone who is like maybe pessimistic about it?
That's, again, another great question. The reason why I say that is because I was that person, right? I was that person. So how this whole came to be for me for the Cinderella monologues goes back to a series of, I wouldn't say coincidences, more like alignment. So as Olivia had mentioned before, things had a big shift for me, and I tried to gain some clarity. And I'm a very visual person. I need to see things in order and have something explained to me for me to understand it, and then I have to apply it. Right? That's the pragmatic in me. How does this resonate to me? How does this relate to me? And part of that was putting it on a vision, some clarity. And on the vision board was the writing. So from there came the Heart Song, Sing Me Your Heart Song Summit, right, Olivia? Got it. Okay, and that was suggested to me through a friend. And so my friend and I joined. And then in that process, Mila was there. Mila had sponsored this wonderful event, and they had this opportunity for the Cinderella monologues, and we could participate. So, long story short, my intuition said, ooh, that sounds really good. Now, keep in mind, I totally forgot about the vision board. Totally forgot about it. I'm thinking, ooh, that sounds really good. I'd like to do that. And then my fear caught up to me and said, oh, no, you don't, because you don't know what can, oh, yes, I do. I want to. Oh, no, you don't even know what you're getting into. But I really want to try that. Oh, no, you don't. And in the end, it came through and I got it. And that's why I'm here. And when it happened, I was like, when you kind of have a crush on somebody and then you get them and then you're not sure if you want them. And I was like, okay, now I got you. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with you. But it turned out to be this wonderful, wonderful experience. And this is all a wonderful example of leading to your intuition. So having said that, another piece of that was sometimes I will listen to my horoscope every so often. And this tarot read was on YouTube. Never had a tarot reading in my life. Don't know anything about it. And I'm a little bit of, if you read the bio, a little bit of a library nerd. So it's like, I'm the type of person that I don't like a lot of third party information. I'm like, show me the white papers, give me the facts, give me the science. Here it is for tarot and oracle cards. If you're a little bit like me and sometimes start off thinking it was a little bit too woo, a little bit esoteric, tarot cards goes, I think the original one of the states is 1367 along those lines, but 1400s, let's go with that, was essentially when it took off. And then esoterically, more so in the 1700s. So that's a little bit of a backstory. What it means to me personally, because oracle cards, tarot cards are going to mean different things to everybody. We can all develop skills to a certain degree. Intuition is what we already have. So why not work with that? When I looked at the horoscope thing that day, there was a tarot card thing there, tarot reading, and I just clicked it. I forget what it said in the title, something about changes in my life. And I'm like, oh, that's me. Let me listen. And I'm like, I think I want to do that. I want to try that. So what does this mean to me? This to me, and I have several decks here, and I just felt drawn to this one. This is tapping into our intuition, validation. Now, the way we are wired as human beings, we have our reticular activating system, our RAS, if anybody wants to look that up, if you need a little bit of a background to that. Our RAS systems basically essentially means our brains are already wired to look for patterns. And in those patterns, we're looking for something that's going to justify or validate our biases. What does that mean? That means that when you look at something like this, you're not just looking at a card, you're not just drawing it based on your intuition or calling on your guides, whatever, but you're going to be looking for something to validate what you already know within yourself. This is just your check-in. When it comes to divination, it's a very personal thing. People feel things differently. People call on God, guides, angels of things. The bottom line is this, in that at its highest, finest moment, you are still a piece of the action. These work based on our intuition. Our intuition is our gift. Our gift we already have. So basically the answers are within. You're just checking in, right? Your compass. You're just checking in to say, hey, am I on track? Now here's the good part, right? We don't have to follow the oracle cards or tarot cards. They're guiding systems, right? If I'm in a tough relationship and I pull out a 3 of swords, which is normally heartbreak, broken expectations, it doesn't mean that you're going to break up with somebody you might be with 20 years. But there might be something going on in your relationship that may have raised a red flag. So what does that look like? So you always have free will on any situation. This is no different than any type of guidance. Just looking into it, just trying to gain some clarity, right? And checking in with ourselves.
Oh, I love that, Dani, because you're using as a guiding system to check in and also just provide maybe some affirmation, right, to what it is that you're feeling inside. Mm-hmm. And even like at the beginning of this conversation, you started out with like questions, right? It's just asking the questions, starting that conversation. Sometimes it takes a conversation to really come to that terms of validation. Mm-hmm. So this is so cool. Awesome. Well, we got a couple more viewers, and I bought my personal tarot deck too, and it comes from Colette Baron Reed, who's very well known.
Very well known.
Very well known. So she's got this good tarot, and it's a 78 card deck, and she based it on like the different elements, right? So we've got air, water, fire, and earth.
Correct.
And the question that she poses that we ask is that, what is the message I need to hear in this moment that supports my highest intention, my highest good? So that's why I call the good tarot. Oh, we've got another comment coming in. Lynn says hello. Hello, Lynn. Thank you for joining us on
Thank
Facebook.
you for being here.
Marilyn says, I've had an Oracle card deck for about 15 years and haven't consulted them for quite a while. Marilyn, you need to dust that off.
They've probably been waiting for you.
Yes, they're waiting for you. So probably just blow off the dust and start using them.
And do a check-in. Yeah, do a check.
Yeah.
Oh, and just sorry, Olivia, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to quickly say, for those of you that are interested in doing this, gratitude is important as well. Right? So you might want to open and close with some form of gratitude. Sorry, Olivia, I didn't mean to.
No, thank you, because that's a big part of it, right? Just thank you for the guides, thank you for the messages, etc. And Marilyn, if you've got those cards, if you pulled them out, like join us. I think it'd be so much fun to do it all together. So this is a very different author spotlight, but we really just want to showcase, some different elements. And if you mark the calendar for November 5th, that's our ebook launch. We're giving more fun prizes, more giveaways. We did a wheel of names. And so Dani's going to be offering something for that wheel of names. So you want to be there to find out what that is. So just putting a little teaser in there for you. But, I am feeling called today, Dani, to perhaps, with your guidance, just to think of all the Cinderella monologue authors. So I'm envisioning them, each woman author in our book. Hopefully I can envision who they are. Their names are coming up to me alphabetically. That's the easiest way, so I can make sure that I don't miss anyone. And I'm going to start shuffling this card deck, and I'm just going to ask the question, what is the message that would be a collective message for our women authors that they need to hear right now that will support their highest intention for their highest good? So here I go. I'm going to shuffle these cards. So thinking of you all. Wonderful. And let's see. And I'm feeling guided here to shuffle. And I'm still learning this too, Dani. So.
Okay, use your intuition. Just check in. It'll tell you what to do.
All right. I've got this one. This one is sticking out.
Okay.
This one is sticking out for me at the moment. Ooh, Cinderellas. I think you're going to like this one. 9 of Fire. Look how beautiful this card is. And that's another reason why I love just admiring and meditating on these cards, because some of the illustrations are so remarkable. Look at that. Look how vibrant the stars are. We're talking Cinderella. We're talking about transformation. And, just from far away, you can see how brightly the stars shine. So even before you dive into the guidebook, I would also like just to advise, just take in the picture, see the images, make meaning of the images, like find the metaphors before you read the guidebook and to see what calls to you. When you look at this, Dani, what do you see?
You got to put it a little bit closer. The first thing that resonated with me coming right out is the reason why I laughed is because I'm actually a fire sign. And fire signs are fiery. Like we are known for action. So is there happen to be a number on that card, Olivia? Some cards have numbers. What's the number on your card?
This is 9 of Fire.
9 of Fire. Okay. So in tarot, that could come off as a 9 of Wands, which is stand your ground. So it could be also a message for if you're on path with something and people might think, oh, you're writing a Cinderella monologue. This is a book. Why are you writing a book? You know what I mean? Stand strong within yourself that you're on path, right? Or develop boundaries and things of that nature too. Because it is about transformation. Exactly. And colors are important too. What you brought out, which is really, really important.
Wow, I can tell that you are a library junkie just to be able to read all that and bring in symbols. Oh my goodness. So let me read from the guidebook here.
Mm-hmm.
So 9 of Fire represents caution, uncertainty, reevaluating circumstances. And what's nice about this guidebook is that it states things for you to affirm. So you're supposed to like repeat it and affirm. So it's written in the personal I statement. So I need to stop, wait, and look around me before proceeding further. Compass.
Around. Yeah.
My sense of uncertainty is my inner wisdom telling me to bring illumination to my situation, to allow insights to arise and guide me before I take my next step. I had no idea this was going to come up. Questioning is good. I will look carefully to see if a different path may be right for me at this point. So Cinderellas, there you have it. This is a time of questioning. You've been involved in this momentous occasion with writing, your writing journey, being published as best-selling authors. So what is the next step for you? Question, explore.
Perfect. And it's fun. It's fun,
So thank you.
Exactly. And another little thing too, as human beings too, I'm a firm believer. It's just my 2 cents of something is as above, so below. So if something comes up with us that's going on in our outside self, in our outside world, like even right now, like I have books and papers around me that you guys can't see, and I'm like, not only do I need to tidy this up, I need to kind of check in, maybe tidy some things up on the inside too, tie up a few loose ends. So when you're doing your tarot, for if you guys are interested, or oracle cards too, you might want to, when you feel compelled to stop, or maybe you're one of those people that say, I'm going to do this, please tell me what I need to know in 6 shuffles. Okay? So card just popped out automatically. But if you want to check in what's going on above, meaning your outside world, that could be your top card. What's going on within me, within my inside world, that could be your bottom card. So for those of you that want to take this up a notch and do some practicing, because Marilyn might be digging out her cards, you might also want to check in what's above, so below, what's going on in your outside world, what's going on in your inside world. Okay. So Olivia, how would you like to do this? Would you like to put anything out to the group, or do you have something that you to ask?
I like that approach. Please tell us in 6 shuffles what's above, what's below for our group. Yes.
Sure. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Please tell us in 6 shuffles what's above, what's below that we should be checking in within ourselves in 6 shuffles. We are at 2. 3. 1 just popped out. I'm not going to get that. I'm going to read it to you. That's probably the overall energy of the group. All right. Are you ready? Thank you so much. So what we have for the overall group as the overall energy, and it came out in 2. So it came out in 2 pieces. So the first one is King of Gabriel, which basically means passionate, understanding within ourselves and checking in with our passion, our charming personalities, know that we are brilliant and independent. So those are our personal traits. In the reading, it's you can do anything that you want right now. Go after what you want. The ability to attract helpful people. So we're all at different points. But right now, you see her? She's the queen. Okay? And this is also a fire card. And fire is action. Okay? So this is actually an action card. So essentially what it means Cinderella. These were queens in a way. And we're ready. You see how she's sitting on the throne? She's not bothered by nobody? Because she's getting herself together. And there's a little cat at the bottom, and that normally is a symbol of good luck. And there's other things in here as well that we can definitely take a look at. That's the overall message. Check in. Your passionate, charming, compassionate, brilliant self. Bring that to the table, because right now you can do anything. You are the queen. Okay, you're standing on your own throne. You are the Cinderella in you. You're going to bring that out. But Cinderella went from one extreme to the other. Think about it. And of all the princesses, she's the bomb. I mean, Disney did not do a Snow White castle. Disney did the Cinderella castle. And when you go get married at Disneyland, what do you get married in? The pumpkin coach, right? So, to me, Cinderella she's got her stuff together, and you ask the Cinderella question. So it's also a time of new beginnings. Okay? This is a major arcana card, and so is this. These are two major arcana cards. Major arcana is like the highest point, right? And you have your minor arcana. So two majors in one question for the overall energy of the group. That's big. And the number on your arcana is 20. So 20 might be significant to somebody. And it says here, new beginnings, starting a new life, finding your purpose, forgiving and a compassionate review of the past. And that's what a lot of us did. What's the Cinderella Monologues about? It's about our past experiences, and that's exactly what it is. Our past experiences, and as a result, we've built a new life as a result of it. I know I did. I mean, Cinderella was written, my story was written from the perspective of a 17-year-old. I am now in my 50s. So for me to have written that, I had to go back from where I was to where I am. And that perspective, and how do I write this with respect? You know, because I had to be respectful to the real Prince Charming in my story, which is my son. So how do I write that with respect? That came with dealing with our stuff from the past so we can have these new beginnings that we want by being the charming, compassionate, amazing women that we are, because we're queens. So what's going on around us possibly is the Ace of Gabriel. Okay. A gift of passion, opportunity, and inspiration, the chance to do something amazing. Are we not? Are we not? Right? And a sense of wonder. It's a sense of wonder, and it is. It definitely is. We're all on a new journey. Again, another action card. Okay? That's above. That's what's going on. So some of us can have some passion, some opportunities, some inspiration that's coming our way. Maybe some of us have it lit a little bit of a fire within us, and now we want to do more writing. You know, if that's you right now, you can put that in the chat. If this opportunity has inspired you to do something more, to level up, maybe this speaks to you. Maybe this speaks to you and what you want to do. And a chance to do something amazing, which we are doing. And what is within is the page. Pages are at the beginning of our journey. Okay? And this is reliable, clever, educated, and balanced. This would come up as a pentacle in tarot, which means earthbound. Something that is happening in our reality right now. Okay? An excellent opportunity will be offered to you. Olivia, you're going to love this. Okay, hear me now. An excellent opportunity will be offered to you. Scholarships. God's got jokes, everyone. God's got jokes. Because that is how I came into Cinderella Monologues, was from Mila's scholarship. So scholarships or the pursuit of education, it is time to get to work. So in our current realities, in our everyday life, in our here and now, our 3D, what's going on? This is a good time to pursue opportunities that are going to be offered and to maybe pursue education, work, things of that nature. Okay? And look, it's a library card. Just saying. All right. I hope that was fun for you guys. If you have any questions, you can let us know.
Of course, it was a library card. Oh, dear, that was amazing. And look at this chat from Marilyn. So Marilyn is saying, I love the as above, so below reminder too. She is personally reminded that she can do anything and nothing will hold her back as long as I stay in action. Fire, action. And Marilyn, oh my gosh, Marilyn, this is a new beginning for her, even at the age of 86. Bringing my purpose into writing and presentation. Like, Marilyn, thank you so much for watching and sharing that with us. I mean, wow.
Marilyn's a rock star, guys. If you haven't read her story,
she is a rock star.
I love Marilyn, okay? I do. I want the pink suit. I'm going to rock the pink suit. I want it all.
And Marilyn also writes, to me, the fire represents the spirit within. And Dani, thank you for this awesome reminder today to stand your ground. So
you don't stand for everything, right?
This has been so fun, and I hope we get to do more of this during the ebook launch. I think we should. It'll be so fun, right? Just because we'll have more people on, and we can really tap into everyone's collective energy at that moment. And if you're watching this and you watch this on replay, I mean, take it for what it is, right? Like you can have fun with it, you can run with it or not. It's up to you. So, but like so many like metaphors were drawn just now. Like I couldn't believe it.
And you know what? If tarot and oracle isn't your thing, choose your favorite quotes and affirmations, write them all down, put them in a jar, and every morning when you have your coffee and have your tea, just say, you know what? Tell me what I need to see and hear. And you're seeing with what you're reading, and you're hearing, say it to yourself, whatever it is, because I won't get into the studies of it all, but basically it's a retention thing. So if you kind of see it, read it, write it, you retain it a whole lot better, right? It's like 80%. So whatever opens up to you. It might be something that you really need to see and hear in that moment. It could be at the start of your day, at the end of your day, somewhere in the middle. But that might work for you too. Just a thought.
Oh, that's so awesome. I've learned so much from you today, Dani. Thank you. Thank you. You have such an awesome gift. It truly is a gift to recognize the symbols and the meanings and to pull it all together in a very cohesive way for us to understand, right? So it doesn't have to be so esoteric.
Yes, there's actually some science into it, but that's another time.
Yes. You might be interested in coaching with Dani. So I highly invite you to reach out to her. She's new on Facebook. She is on Facebook. You can look up her name. It's there on the screen. But, give her some time because she's just venturing into that brave new world herself.
Toddler in training.
Toddler in training.
When it comes to social media, I'm a toddler in training, but I'm trying to catch up.
And what's so nice is that she makes her email available inside the book. So if you want to get in touch with Dani, you got to buy the book and look up her email there. So action step for you. And she's welcoming. She's so welcoming and would love to work with you. And be on the lookout for our November 5th ebook launch because Dani will be back. And I think she's got some coaching available as prizes and giveaways for the Wheel of Names. So definitely something that you want to be there. You have to be present to win. And please buy the book today. And with every purchase, our fellow co-author, LaDonna Maccabee, is offering a $5 digital gift card. So yes, $5 digital gift card as a special bonus. Thank you for supporting our fellow women co-authors in this amazing writing journey. The unveiling of Cinderella now is the queen.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely. We're not waiting for Prince Charming.
Nope.
We're creating our own happily ever after. We have our own kingdom. We have our own thrones, right? We do our own thing.
With charm and with compassion.
You got it. There you go. You nailed it. So proud of you.
Oh, I like that, Dani. Do that again. High fives. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, Dani, thank you so much for spending your time and energy with us. And I will see you on November 5th, if not sooner. And Marilyn says, yes, buy this book. You will love it.
It's an amazing book. You guys, my fellow authors, amazing. All the Cinderella team is just beautiful. And I'm so grateful to have been a part of it. And I thank you. It's a blessing to me. It truly is. This was incredibly cathartic in more than one way, and written with love and respect, regardless of the circumstances and situations. So,
love and respect, regardless of the circumstances. Nicely put, Dani. All right, we're going to close this broadcast, and we'll see you again next time for another fabulous author spotlight. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.